Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're doing the second update, week 2, part 2 of the season 2 for CZN. I know there's a lot of twos going on. This is Galactic Disaster Season 2, Seed of Karmic Fire. We're going to go over the patch notes here. There's going to be some stuff about Tiphera in here as well. We're going to touch on that, and I think we're going to make a dedicated video for what we learned today about that character as well. If you're into everything going on with CZN, you can go check out all the content on the channel. We've been having a blast with this game so far. Let's check out the Great Rift changes. Now, we have the new boss. We've already touched on this, so we're not going to spend too much time on here. But what I did notice here is that they have changed some of the ranking divisions, you want to call it. There's like separate brackets in each side of them now. Instead of it just being Master, Diamond, Platinum, Gold, there's 5 through 1 for each of these. As you can see, there's not a ton of difference in the rewards that you're gaining to get into the different brackets and divisions. For instance, like Platinum 1 through 5 here, right? They each give 13 core memories, 5 Prism lenses, a Platinum sticker. And then the only difference here is like the different traces of memory, right? 160, 161, 162, 163, 165. So there's not like a huge deal here. Master 5 starts at the top 2%. Diamond 5 starts at the top 10%, 26%, 50% for gold if you're trying to get into gold 5. Silver is 75%. Hey man, if you're bronze 5, dude, that's everybody. Congratulations. If you play the game, you're basically just getting rewards. So this is why we say the leaderboard stuff doesn't matter too much. I mean, if you're bronze 5, you get 10 core memories, 100 trace of memories, 5 prism lenses, and a bronze sticker. If you're in the top 0.1%, you get 15 core memories instead of 10, 190 traces instead of 100, whatever. Still get 5 lenses, and then the little reward sticker you get is different at the end. So anytime we talk about like, hey man, we're doing cool stuff, don't be worried about like breaking the game open for the sake of balancing just Great Rift or whatever. Don't use that as a crutch for, oh, our game design or balance. It literally doesn't matter that much. It's the different stickers that everyone can have access to. Cool, great, and then like literally traces of memory. So it's fine. It's whatever. I'm looking forward to fighting this boss. It's got 2 hands you got to break down, and then you get to attack the face. And we'll be doing in scene more of a breakdown on that. They also had a live stream on that, and it was fine. You guys are gonna be able to interact with the content when it comes out itself. Now, I'm not gonna try to sit here and pretend to tell you all the secret detailed breakdowns of a fight that's not even in the game yet, right? Now, this is a new one here, environmental variable update. So this is going to be introduced to establish a meta optimized for the Galactic Disaster Season support. So experience deeper deck building and agent growth through season exclusive enhancement elements. All right, which is, it's going to be kind of like a little sphere grid type upgrade system that we're going to gain access to for playing season 2 here, which is going to help us, you know, gain access to new benefits when we're doing different pieces of content. And this is going to open up the 25th of February, and it's going to last all the way right until the start of April, or April 8th. It's going to be there. They don't really spend a lot of time on this section telling us exactly everything that's going to be in here, right? We have the gobbledygook, not even in English, not even in any actual language. It's in Chaos Zero Nightmare languages and Chaos language. Actually, Chaos language is a Nier Automata, a Nier thing. Oh, I like CZN. Let's not call it Nier Automata. Although we could get a collab, that would be cool. I would be all right with that. So this is basically going to allow us to upgrade different things that we'll see during the season. They did share some core upgrades that we can get and gain access to here. Core entity access, as well as calculation result adjustment. This is going to be different things that we can do here. So the first one, if you have obtained the challenger qualifications, the Gatekeeper's trial choices at the arena entrances will unlock, which is going to be like a new boss. They're getting ahead of themselves during the season of CZN Season 2. They're instituting like an extra boss thing that we can do like we had access to in Season 1. Calculation or reset adjustment will allow you to gain additional dice rolls adjustment values in a Galactic Disaster. So when we're rolling dice, you can get access to like better odds, better variance for there. Security release will unlock a new season fates inside of Burning Life. Variable importance will increase the rate of season fates in the Galactic Disaster chaos zone, which, all right, cool, we like that. So these two together, right? I think a lot of the things that are going to really help you out are these two. If you're trying to gain access to season specific cards, there's a fate that increases the odds or whatever of you seeing a season card in trading by 50%, right? So being able to get that upgrade to show more often allows you to create more decks based around season neutral cards. If you know what we're talking about, there's a lot of cool season neutral cards that you can utilize. We just made a video on Malin that we've been trying to build for forever. Finally got it built, and well, this is gonna help you do stuff like that. Environmental settings gain upgrade effects that assist in battle. Very generic, very awesome. Result value recalculation. Unlock the ability to refresh the effects presented during equipment reforging. So this one's pretty big here because there are a fair amount of pretty strong things you can get in reforging, but there are also sometimes you just get unlucky, right? And you don't get anything. You're looking for like some sort of attack card increased damage percent value because you're building a DPS and you don't get any of those and you're sad. Sometimes you're building a support character with a small deck and you just want to draw cards and create AP and do stuff like that. And then all you get for your buffs, for your gear, are attack card increases. You don't want any of those. You want some of these more supportive ones, like draw an exhaust card at the start of the battle or draw an exhaust card at the end of the turn. Now you can gain access to a little less variance if you get this key node there. And then we have information gathering amplification, increases the amount of radiant life, which is a season 2 currency. Not the craziest thing there, but these middle ones I think are going to be the real sort of quality of life increases for the season 2 Chaos Rift. We also have the new exclusive currency, the Memory of Flights, which is used to activate this system. All right, Galactic Disaster content improvements. This is going to be something called the Gatekeeper's Trial that will appear during Galactic Disaster Chaos Burning Life, as well as the Codex. Okay, you can prove your Chancellor's qualifications by achieving victory in the Chaos Outskirts Arena, the little Coliseum that we're doing. If you meet the qualifications, you'll be tested by the Gatekeeper at the entrance to the Chaos Interior Arena to determine whether you are worthy of audience with the King. Okay, basically this is going to be another secret boss that we can fight. It's going to work probably pretty similarly to the old one, and they don't really have a good detail here. You can obtain powerful rewards. Amazing. Why am I making this video? Why are you watching it? I don't know, because everything is well, pretty vague in the patch notes. I'm not sure why. Now, we do have the second supply store. You will be happy to know that the Omega code has returned for 6,000 radiant life, which is a very powerful item to have access to. And well, I might make a video on that, but the TLDR, we still have an old one that you can go check out, and everything in that video I think still holds true today. So Omega code coming back. You're like looking for a limited character, you're trying to buff up your Serennial, you might already have a plan for this because we knew way back in time that we were going to be getting one for season 2. Let me know what you're using your Omega code on, if you're saving it, if you're using it on Serennial, if you're just, you know, just going to throw it on your favorite character. Tell us down there in the comment section. All right, now in the Great Rift, auto battle will always be changed to off. I don't know why that's a big thing, but it's an improvement, I guess. I don't know that it should be filed under bug fixes, but okay. Now we're gonna go over Tiphera real quick, but like I said, we're gonna have a detailed breakdown video for her. She's gonna be an order controller, and I have seen a lot of people like hype this character into the absolute sky for some reason. I don't know if people are bored. I don't know if this figure has something to do and y'all are weirdos, but people are talking like she's the second coming, like the best controller, utilized everywhere, makes more AP than Mika, buffs all your. I don't know if you guys lost the ability to read and comprehend. People who are like, not just people who are excited for a new character, but people who are like, absolutely, this character has no weaknesses. I read the kit. We don't know any of your epiphanies, dude. I made a Reddit thread. I'm a mod. 4.5 out of 5 must pull. All right, bud, you do that one there. She's supposed to be like a support that helps you do different things, whether it's heal or do a little bit of damage or increase the damage that someone like Nine or Haru or Kairon can do with just one big hit skills. She can do that. End of the day, TLDR is, we'll get into it in the other video about her because they don't have all of her epiphanies and stuff listed in here, and it's going to be very easy for me to visually break it down because I've downloaded all of the different epiphany cards from the video and I have them all in Photoshop. But there's going to be a lot of variance with this character, and people are trying to sell her as like a generic generalist support, which isn't really what she is. She's more of a exhaust / big hitter support that you have to constantly fight through deck dilution and random card generation to really make work. We have a couple live videos with her, and I don't think she's going to be awful and unusable by any means. But I think she's going to be very dependent on getting a Divine Epiphany on a specific card. And there's going to be like maybe 1 or 2 ways to build her to have her be effective. And not this like thing that I've been seeing all over social media where it's like, she's just going to be the best character of all time, which no, that's not happening at all for sure in any way, shape or form. And like there's some other stuff that people were blowing out of the water, like her E2, people are like, oh, it's insane. It's the craziest thing. It's got draw an archetype card on it. It fixes all of her problems, but they don't pay attention. They don't read like this draw an archetype card effect on the E2. It comes from the square archetype card. Archetypes card square, which is the one that heals a little amount and draws an archetype card anyway. So people are like, oh dude, if you mash a bunch of square cards together, you're gonna draw 3 of her cards. My brother in Christ, you're already doing that. What are you gonna draw 6? You're gonna draw 6 of her things. You're gonna shuffle 6 of her archetype cards into your deck, bro. Okay. And we also have the rescue rate-up partner for Tiana. We didn't talk about Tiana. Tiana's brand new, revealed today, and I think she's fine. But also this character partner is getting like absolutely, people must be bored. All right, people are really blowing this partner up. She's good, but like people are acting like she is literally the second coming as well. So let's check this out. The passive here, assigned combatants defense is increased by 8 to 16%. It's gonna help out a little bit, right, for what you're doing with Tiphera, but not like a crazy amount. It's gonna be able to boost up some of the defense-based damage that you could do. She's got a couple of those, but it's like, oh, we're not building Narja as our main DPS, right? We're a support still. We're still controlling, so it's fine. It's not like busted, okay? The real passives though, when the assigned combatant creates 3 exhaust cards, increases the ally's next attack card damage amount by 15 to 30%, and it has 2 stacks maximum. So 15 if you just get 1 copy of this card is what you're looking at. You're looking at 15% for the next attack card, which means you need to do a couple of things. This passive has built-in variants just like Tiphera does, because you need to do a couple of things in a certain order, right? You need to create those 3 exhaust cards to get the buff, right? And then you need to not use an attack card from anyone in your party unless it's the attack card that you want to apply the buff to, right? So simple way to break this, right? A lot of people out there still use Cassius. I am one of them, right? For the 0 devil dice, anything that's like an attack card, draw a card, do some cool stuff like that. This combatant is not going to work very well with in that party. This partner is not going to work very well with something like that. So you need to be able to create the exhaust cards. Make sure you're not using an attack card until you got all your buffs up, you got your vulnerability going on, you got all the other stuff going on, and then you can finally benefit in that 15% attack card damage amount. You can get 2 stacks of it, and that is going to require you to exhaust or create 6 exhaust cards. So if you want the full benefit of this, you need to create 6 exhaust cards and then do no damage with anyone else while you're still playing your cards, comboing out, doing whatever it is you're doing in that turn. And then finally, you know, cast your hues or cast your anchor shots or whatever it is that you're doing with your team. It's not like the most egregious thing of all time, but it is something to keep in mind when we're talking about a character like Tiphera, who has many elements of RNG and weird play patterns based on needing to draw cards in the correct order, right? On top of that, when the assigned combatant has activated shield gain as well as heal gain through specifically order cards, you can get a nice little 6 to 12% crit chance buff depending on your refinement rank for 1 turn. So if you have this attached to Tiphera, you're going to need to shield as well as heal with your order cards. A couple of these are going to help you, right? So archetype the creation Delta has a shield on it, which is the buffing of your next attack card, which is nice. And then the square one, I don't know, I'm not sure. You let me know what that, I'm not sure what this one is. All right, but heal 50% and then draw 1 archetype card. I want to say Sigma, but it's not Sigma, I don't think. I'm not sure. But heal 50% and draw. So you need to make a triangle and a square one inside of her kit. On top of that, you could also cast creation and destruction. But like we said before, you can't do damage because you're going to apply the next attack damage buff to the next attack card you do. This does damage. even though it has the shield and the heal on it, it does in fact do damage. So that's something you have to really look out on. A lot of people are like, oh, you can just cast her Creation Destruction card and it auto procs it. I guess you can. You have to cast what now? Cast Creation Destruction before you generate any of your creation cards, and then create a bunch of exhaust cards, and then try to find your DPS attack card to just get the 6% crit, the 15% attack card damage. Okay, cool. Fine. Sure, but we're not done yet. We also have the Ego Skill Phase Alignment, which draws an exhaust card, all right, which is gonna be very helpful because she not only creates her creation cards in her hand, but she also can create them in the discard pile as well as in her deck, which is one of her main drawbacks, is she has the ability to really dilute your deck. You need to get those cards out of your deck so you don't naturally draw them on your following turns, because you don't want to do that. You will have a very bad time. You're diluting your deck. Your turns will become worse over time. If you're just adding a bunch of nonsensical garbage you can't get out of your deck, it's going to be like, all right, what are my cards I'm drawing for my turn? Heal, shield. I do some extra damage. I have no other cards in my hand. I guess I die, right? So this is going to help you there. It's going to draw an exhaust card, and then it will draw an exhaust card the next 2 times ego skills are used, and it decreases the cost of the next ego skill by 1. I thought I saw this somewhere that it said that the cost of the next 2 ego skills by 1, but this says the next ego skill by 1. And this costs 3 EP. So 3 EP, draw an exhaust card, and then if you use an ego skill, again, you draw another exhaust card, and your next ego skill is reduced by 1. It might even be 2. But even then, how many ego skills are you popping off to combo out with this card, this ego ability, all in the same turn, right? So this costs 3. So let's say we have 7 EP, you use 3 of it, you go to 4. The next one costs 1 less, but to combo out, you can at most have 2 other ego skills that cost 3 each, which is possible. It's very nice if you're using 3 combatants that all have partners that all have ego skills that cost 3, because you'll go from 7 to 4, and then use a 3 cost 1, but it costs 2. You go down to 2, use 3 cost 1, but it costs 2. You go down to 2. I'm pretty sure that this was the next 2 ego skills by 1, but this says only 1. So how do I feel about Tiana overall? I think she's fine. My question is, why don't I just slam Nyx on my controller and call it a day? Do I have the possibility with Nyx on my controller to get 6 crit chance and then 15% to the next attack card 2 times? No, but I can also just slam Nyx and just get like a permanent at R1, the battle pass, 8% damage bonus for everyone in my party at all times, just because. As long as you draw a card, it's just 8% for everybody. And then 8%, I think, for yourself as well. So 16% for yourself, 8% for yourself if you're using Nyx. And the Nyx, instead of like this draw a card, ego skill, blah, 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 you can just pop her thing, discard 3 cards, draw 4 cards. So, all that garbage we just talked about, or just use Nyx. Now, we also have some other event stuff. I'm not going to go through all of this. It's just gonna be some rewards. We're gonna get some crystals. There's gonna be some login events. Every single one of these, we've kind of seen these events before. I think actually some of these are straight up reruns of previous events, right? Use the cafe, clear chaos, get this selection chest thing to help us out there. Free login stuff, Codex merging, Basin to Hyperspace, new season begins, like all of this stuff before. And here's the big one, the Protosync system update. Now the Protosync system update, TLDR for you, it's going to be, instead of going over all of this different stuff, it's going to be a way for you to basically, you know how we have the one for chaos right now, where you just can like make a character 58, they have some potentials, maybe they have some gear. This is going to be a system where you can level up this board, okay? And you can apply a character to that slot. So this is going to be a new potential board. It's like a generic potential board because every character has like the same setup for potentials. What this is going to allow you to do is you're going to be able to get in there, level up this potential board, and the max amount that you can level up different things depends on your captain level. So if you're level 50, you're going to have the highest amount that you're able to do here. And it's going to allow you to easily test out characters and use them in non-chaos areas. So you're going to level up the potentials of the neutral potentials in here. You'll be able to apply a character to it, like say Tiphera if you got her, without having to level Tiphera up, and she'll be able to utilize what you have unlocked on this board. And as you can see here, different things are going to be capped at different levels. Now, it's not like you're going to be able to have max stacks, all potentials unlocked, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 on everything, character level like 60, all of this great stuff from this Protosync system update. There also is going to be a small little limitation here that you have a 72-hour cooldown if you take somebody out of the Proto system setup. So it's kind of cool. It's pretty neat. It doesn't invalidate the need for you to level characters up, but what it does do is, hey, at the end of the day, you want to try someone out inside of Chaos, we have something for that. You want to try someone out outside of Chaos without having to invest all your resources into them, you can get a pretty good sort of idea of how they're going to operate in that team. So you can, without leveling a character at all, make save data for them in Chaos with the system that's there. And then if you want to try out that save data that you made in a non-chaos mode, right? Some of these other different events we have going on for the season, maybe you just want to do some of the bosses or something, and you just don't have the ability to level that character. You don't want to level that character. It's maybe just like a support character, and all they really need to do is just provide a little bit of stats, have their main potentials, and use their save data to draw cards and give buffs for someone like Tiphera. You can just slot them in here, use them for a little bit, and then take them out and not have to use resources, fully max them out for forever there. So this is going to be, something that's there as well. There's also going to be the ability for you to spend crystals to recharge the Signs of Time, which is the thing that you use to like rewind your actions inside combat or change the different EP skills that you have if you've gotten that unlocked from the city, which is something that we can do a couple of times per day. So you can start at 20 crystals for 5, and it goes all the way up to 60 crystals for 5. You can do it 8 times per day. I don't know how many people really need to be doing this. I've never really ran out and been like, man, I need 25 more refreshes for my Sands of Time today. I'm not sure. This will be something though that I'm sure will be used for people who are trying to get like rank 1 on the leaderboard, right? They do that thing where they try to min-max every single action. I've done it before on, with like Cassius and stuff. Like, if I draw this card and then I tutor with Joker, what's the next couple of cards that I draw? Or if I tutor first and then I draw some cards, what are those cards that I'm going to draw? You can just kind of change slight RNG based on what's going on here. And I think it would be kind of funny if they added this because they were like, in testing, Tiphera is so random that they ran out of Sands of Time refreshes messing with that character when they were testing her. They're like, you know what, guys? We'll release Tiphera, the RNG monster, and we'll allow people to use their crystals to refresh the Sands of Time because they're using this RNG AF character. All right. On top of that, there's going to be some new upgraded Reforge effects. This is inside of Chaos. What they're doing, they're buffing up and adding some of the armor abilities that we get here. So the one that gives fixed damage to people, it's going to be 2 times per turn. And when you're owning a shield at the start or end of a battle, you're going to do fixed damage to people. Counterattack's going to do defense-based damage to all enemies. This one is pretty big. It is only 1 times per turn, but this one is pretty big. It used to be on counterattack 100% fixed damage to all enemies. Now it's 200% defense-based damage to all enemies. This is actually a pretty big win. Now it's not like broken. You can't do it infinite times. You can't counter 10 times to get this, but if you're countering like 1 or 2 times, hey, this is pretty sizable because all of those counters are defense-based damage now instead of fixed damage, which is pretty big. And then the new Reforging effects are pretty strong. 30% damage amount to 1 or lower cost attack cards is huge. One of the big grievances for season 2 of CZN is that like it's based around big hitting characters who want to hit like 1 or 2 times, which was also true for the different buffs you could get on your gear inside of Chaos runs. Now there's something that you can pick up, right, for 1 or lower cost character. So if you're like a Luke main or you're trying to, use like Serenial or something like that, there's something that's very powerful for you to pick up there. There's going to be an extra attack damage amount, Reforge armor effect there. There's going to be a defense-based damage buff in there as well, which is pretty nice. And then when drawing your own attack card by an ability, increase damage amount of that card by 50% for 1 turn as well, which I think is just, isn't that just straight up like the Mythic's weapon or whatever from like the Yuki season 1 Lab 0? Wasn't that like the Mythic weapon ability? And I know there's only 4 new ones here and it's going to be RNG, but remember the stuff we touched on earlier, we're going to have the ability to re-roll what different Reforge effects we're getting inside of the Chaos run itself. So, you know, odds are you might have the ability to put some of these on your characters that you didn't really feel like running in season 2 yet. On top of that, we have different things, achievements and memory fragment filtering and sorting and stuff like that. We don't really care too much. This is going to be a bunch of like kind of whatever stuff. They're adding stuff in the shop for you to spend your hard-earned money. And then there's going to be some quality of life improvements for us to talk about here. Adjusted challenge missions here. So there's going to be some adjusted challenge missions, right? The completion conditions for certain TB acquisition relations to the Galactic Disaster save data will be eased. So instead of needing to get like 72,000 for like the highest buff, the highest achievement, it's going to be like 58 now. Instead of 64, it's going to be 52. Instead of 56, it's going to be 46. So it's kind of like squished down a little bit there. And then there's just going to be a host of bug fixes. I don't really remember seeing anything crazy. I think this one, there was a bug where like the cyborg automaton that showed up during the like Coliseum event didn't count for the achievement, which I thought was dumb. But like nothing super game breaking, I don't think was in here. This is all just kind of like stuff that was annoying and kind of doing whatever. Some stuff about voice lines for the Alcia dialogue. We don't really care about that. I don't want to make this video any longer than it needs to be, and I'm going to cut it down substantially already because we're in here for a half an hour. So I'm going to go record Tiphera breakdown, talking about the best cards for her, all for Epiphanies. Make sure you go check that video out in like an hour or so after you probably see this one, and I'll catch you guys there and in the next one. Take care.